Madam Vice President, you have been a source of inspiration and great pride for many Caribbean people, in particular our young women in the region. And we are indeed seeing an increase in the political participation of young women, and this diversity in the political space will augur well for the region. And I want to congratulate you
Thank you.
on your leadership and your accomplishments.
Thank you.
Madam Vice President.
Yes, JPU family, a pleasant good afternoon to you all. Thank you for joining another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. Guys, right now, there is pandemonium in the United States, particularly in the Democratic Party and at the Democratic National. I don't understand how the People's National Party could have missed such a grand opportunity where right now what they should have done and could have easily done is exactly what the Democratic Party turned around and did without a second thought. Today, I am coming to you just moments before night 3 of the DNC. It has been one of the most exciting DNCs in a long time. People are saying that it reminds us of the DNC of Obama in 2008 or the one of Clinton way back in the day. Guys, this is great. You know what I admire most of all about this convention? It doesn't even seem like a Democratic convention. It seems like an American convention because we have Democrats there, we have Republicans there.
Set to speak, and Stephanie Grisham, former White House.
Yes, we have Republicans there for the first time in history. We have seen countless Republicans who decide they're not supporting the current Republican Party, and they are in the Democrat conference, and they are on the podium, and they are speaking. What a glorious moment. You know, this could have been the People's National Party, you know. And the difference I want to show you guys today is how I don't want to really call it how Jamaicans are when it comes to politics, because what we have seen in the PNP recently is unprecedented. You all know that the current President Joe Biden announced that he would be running again for a second term. And at the time when he did, nobody really made a fuss of it, you know. But as time went by, he had shown some cognitive concerns. And particularly when he had that debate with Donald Trump. I mean, that right there was the moment when Democrats and Americans, quite frankly, you know, started saying, you know what? Maybe this isn't such a good idea. Maybe Joe should step aside, you know, finish his term, and let somebody else be ushered in. His political confidants and friends over many decades leveled with him, and they were honest. They said, Mr. President, a second term would not be such a great idea based on the temperature and the political climate. And he yielded to his Vice President, Kamala Harris, just months before the general election on November 5th. We've never seen anything like this. Well, ever since his endorsement, the Democratic Party coalesced around her. They did not behave like crabs in a barrel, pulling her down, demeaning and degrading her. Everybody's rallying around her. Everybody's campaigning for her and with her, from Hollywood to politicians on both sides, to independents, to men, women, young people. Guys, the ground has swollen. When I looked at the conference, Democratic conference, night 1, night 2, When I heard the former first lady, Michelle Obama spoke, when I heard her husband spoke, when I heard all the different people, the Republicans who spoke at the conference, when I heard Hillary Clinton, who was the first female to come so close to the presidency, she didn't get to do it, but she has her feet planted behind and beside Kamala Harris. And I love to see women of caliber coalesce around women of that tribe and support them, stand with them. The vice presidential pick of Kamala Harris. That guy is something else. Them call him coach because he used to be a coach, a football coach. You know, he used to be a geography teacher. He used to be a member of the military, and he's a senator. And the man, I mean, the way that he looks, I didn't know what to expect from him. But when he opened his mouth and he spoke about policies, he spoke about Donald Trump, I mean, the guy is just a bundle of energy. You know, I think the two of them kind of balance out each other because life is about balance. They both balance out each other where the energy and the characteristics and, you know, their life experiences and just being humans. I think the way that the two of them are, they balance out each other as a team. It's such a wonderful thing to see and experience, and I'm very happy for the Democrats. Nobody in the Democratic Party are against what is happening, which is a momentum like they haven't seen in a long time. At the beginning of this video, I started out by talking about this grand opportunity that the PNP missed. How could they have missed such an opportunity? It's so easy, you know, politics. I mean, when we get to the policies and, you know, we get to the debates and it becomes a little more complicated. But internal politics and coming up with strategies, winning strategies, is so easy. There's nothing to it. You understand? Now, Mark Golding now. When we look at Joe Biden obviously wanted to run again. But the people, you know, show him the reality of the thing. And for the good of his country, because you have country before party, for the good of his country, and then for the good of his party, he decided to stand down. Yes, and it was the right thing to do. I was just on vacation, end of July, and I was with family and friends and so. And I imagine this was the experience of many Americans. Get together with their family and friends, and all they can talk about at the dinner table is politics. Because this is a scary, like, who wants to go through one more term of Donald Trump? Anyway, so we were all talking each day and watching, you know, what was going on. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I believe that Joe Biden is going to do the right thing because I've watched him over the years and I've known him to be a man who does the right thing. And it didn't take very long, but people were getting edgy. You know, people were getting a little impatient. Like, you know, is he going to do this or what? You know, is he going to make the announcement? You know, making the announcement is one thing, but the way that he made the announcement and then at the same time endorsed his vice president, and so quickly, the entire Democratic hierarchy and supporters just jump around Kamala Harris. And then the 180 million she raised in a matter of days. It all happened so quick. But Joe Biden is still standing tall with his head raised and with his dignity. We all respect the move that he made. He took the lead in this decision to pass the baton, to make sure the party united around the vice president, the Democratic senator, Kamala Harris. So it's a beautiful thing. Now let us talk about Mark Golding. Mark Golding, and every child in England knows that he has no traction. He's not fit to lead anything. He doesn't have the characteristics, the personality. He does not have the presence of a leader. He's not a leader. And that's clear. And anybody with a sense of honesty will say that. Cannot, swell the ground for the PNP, cannot energize and bring out the PNP base in a real and true way. He cannot do it. He doesn't have it. And I don't know if anybody in the PNP would have the guts to tell him. I don't think they would. When you talk about Philip Palwell, you talk about all of them in a parliament. They wouldn't tell him. I can say it. My goal in me not look no position in a PNP or in a politics nowhere. So me can talk it. I'm a woman with out front and straightforward. He's a straight shooter, so me go talk it. Yeah. Nobody in the PNP now go level with Mark Golding like the Democrats them, including one of the most powerful female politicians in America, Nancy Pelosi. She was one of them who took the lead in leveling with her friend and her colleague, Joe Biden, among other Democrats, senior Democrats. Yes, so nobody in the PNP now going to do that. But nobody shouldn't have to do that, though. Because when you look at the variables, when you look at the lack of enthusiasm, when you look at the stagnation of the PNP, when you look at everything else, Mark Golding is at the very least, cognizant of the fact that he has brought PNP nowhere. He hasn't spoken to the people, spoken to the heart and soul and mind and consciousness of the people, whether them are PNP, JLP or no P. He's a lame duck. And there are people in PNP in Parliament right now who could take his place, who he could usher in. Lisa Hanna is one of them. And I say that without reservation. Because it wasn't just me who said it. There was a poll that was leaked, that was done within the PNP before the internal election. And the people, them said them wanted Lisa Hanna to be the next leader. Now let us say that Mark Golding was adamant about being the leader of the PNP. And him do the first year and the second year, and by the third year, him say, boy, but that's something at now 7 hour level. You not call up the woman and make the woman come in. Them not do that. And this is why so many PNP people despise Mark Golding. Because Mark Golding behaves like his ancestors. Those people who came into Jamaica and pillage and try to go around the world and colonize everybody. Them not ask no question. Them just go plant them foot there. Yeah, because them are the king and queen of the world. So Mark Golding would never do what is right or in the interest of the PNP. And this is why I commend, just like how we see people like Anna Navarro, one of the most staunch Republicans that I have been watching over the years. She was in the conference last night looking good as ever. And I call up Donald Trump name and I make them know, say, me no support, right? And not she alone. Many other people, them say, listen, I used to support Donald Trump. One man say, I am ashamed to say I voted for Donald Trump, and them something there. But the people, them not the PNP, were left out of the PNP because they say the Trumpism will go on. And then go over the JLP and go to the JLP conference and go talking at the conference and call up Mark Golding name all about. You know what them say? Them call the people them traitor. Them call the people them this and that. You see in America, nobody, no Democrat, not even Republicans, now call the anti-Trump Republicans who were in the conference traitors. Nobody now call them so. Because people are free to choose the country they want to live in. the leader they want to lead them. People are free to do that. We respect. Bad to bad. Bad to bad, the political climate might be hostile, but as something as simple as choosing to leave a political organization and support another one, that's okay. But in a Jamaica, Venetia, for example, is one of them. As a matter of fact, the only outspoken one against Mark Golding's Trumpism in the politics and in the PNP. She alone. Nobody else. Because you have people who cross the floor, but they would not go out there and talk up the things them. They not going to do it because I don't know if them scared. I don't know what. But big up Venetia. Me go make you hear some of what the Republican them say in the conference last night. I am so happy for the Democratic Party and the decision that they made and the unity. Oh my gosh. The unity around a woman. We've never had a female president in the United States of America. But my gut tells me that this is the time. This is the moment when it's going to happen. As some may feel. Yes. And big up Joe Biden for yielding to a woman. So admirable. Some man can't do that. I have a special level of respect for people who, when you look at politics and you look at movements and activism, I have a special admiration for people who, when a movement is going in the wrong direction, they can stand up on principle and for righteousness.
Last night, we heard President Biden say that he loves his job, but he loves his country more. Every American needs to love our country more. Every American has the duty to put our country first. Country first before party. Country first before political ambition. Country first before habit. And in this election, putting country first means one thing and one thing only: voting for Kamala Harris.
It is a joining of the most formidable movement, political movement in Jamaica. This is the movement of the people of Jamaica.
Hey, move out my way.
I became the first senior staffer to resign that day. I couldn't be part of the insanity any longer. When I was press secretary, I got skewered for never holding a White House briefing. It's because, unlike my boss, I never wanted to stand at that podium and lie. Now here I am, behind a podium, advocating for a Democrat. And that's because I love my country more than my party. Kamala Harris tells the truth. She respects the American people, and she has my vote.
That is it, guys. These people are patriots. They're not traitors. They're not any label that one may stick on them for breaking ranks with movements that do not serve the greater good and to serve a country. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this upload. Please make sure you are subscribed and you have your notification on. Keep it locked here to Jamaica Politics Uncovered. I'll catch you in the next video.
I wasn't just a Trump supporter, I was a true believer. I was one of his closest advisors. The Trump family became my family. I spent Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all at Mar-a-Lago. I saw him when the cameras were off. Behind closed doors, Trump mocks his supporters. He calls them basement dwellers. On a hospital visit one time when people were dying in the ICU, he was mad that the cameras were not watching him. He has no empathy, no morals, and no fidelity to the truth. He used to tell me, "It doesn't matter what you say, Stephanie. Say it enough and people will believe you." But it does matter. What you says matter, and what you don't say matters. On January 6th, I asked Melania if we could at least tweet that while peaceful protest is the right of every American, there's no place for lawlessness or violence. She replied with one word: no. I became the first senior staffer to resign that day. I couldn't be part of the insanity any longer. When I was press secretary, I got skewered for never holding a White House briefing. It's because, unlike my boss, I never wanted to stand at that podium and lie. Now here I am, behind a podium, advocating for a Democrat. And that's because I love my country more than my party. Kamala Harris tells the truth. She respects the American people, and she has my vote.